Welcome, everyone. Today, my guest is Mark Adams, HousingWire's Senior Vice President of Market Data and Membership, to talk about our HousingWire Annual event happening October 10th through 12th in Austin, Texas. This is going to be a fun conversation, but first, here's a word from our sponsor. Hi, I'm Sarah Wheeler, Editor-in-Chief at HW Media, talking to Desmond Smith, Chief Growth Officer at UWM, about SafeCheck. Desmond, how does SafeCheck work?
Hey, Sarah, how are you? So I would say first, SafeCheck is allowing LOs to give their borrowers peace of mind. So I'd start there. Trigger leads have become a very large issue, not just in the mortgage space, but in any time someone's getting any type of credit. So we created SafeCheck to help prevent kind of that aggravation and nuance of receiving, tens, 20s, hundreds of calls that consumers receive. So what happens with SafeCheck is any LO who uses UWM, it's an exclusive product, SafeCheck is to UWM, they would be able to either pull a single or a tri-merge soft pull credit report. And while that credit report is being used to run AUS, they will have time to opt their consumer out of any solicitations, and then therefore they will not receive all of those annoying calls and annoying solicitations. And that is also a big benefit because the cost of the credit bureau is much cheaper by leveraging SafeCheck. So it really is a win for LOs, and it's obviously a win for consumers so they don't receive so many phone calls offering all different types of products and services.
I can see how that could be a game changer. Thanks, Desmond. And listeners, you can find out more at uwm.com. Mark, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Sarah.
It's great to have you on again. It's been a while. And actually, it's been a while since I've been the host because I was on PTO for 10 days. 10 days. Now, there were 2 weekends in there, but still, that was like 6 business days off. So I'm going to have to remember how to do podcasting.
Well, I know I've been missing you on all the episodes, so I'm glad that you're back, and I'm sure that the audience is appreciative as well.
Oh, well, thanks. I had great people covering. Chris Cloud did a great job. James Kleiman did a great job. So thankful for them. But today, I really wanted to dig into HousingWire Annual, and that's why you are on, because you've been really integral to how we're planning this event, what the goals are of this event, and what we're doing. And we are so excited. We've been doing HousingWire Annual now for, 4 or 5 years. And every year I feel like it gets better. And I know that this particular time, we're really focused on the lender attendees. And we have 50 different lender companies, participants from 50 different lenders coming. And that's not on accident. We really have done a targeted outreach for them and make sure that we're having things that they're going to enjoy, as well as real estate folks, title folks, appraisal folks. So why don't you tell me from your perspective, what do you think the big takeaway is for HousingWire Annual?
Yeah, no, I think that you nailed it, that in all the years that we've had HousingWire Annual, this is definitely the strongest attendee lineup and speaker lineup that we've ever had. It's an amazing mix. We have speakers from real estate and mortgage. We're going to be talking about data and the economy. So I'm really excited about the diversity that'll be up on stage. A couple people that I'm really excited about is Ginger Wilcox, who's the president of Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Sandra Thompson from FHFA, Frank Martell from Loan Depot. I mean, there are some serious heavy hitters that are going to be joining us at the event. And one thing that I always love about our events is that not only do we bring the content, but we bring the community aspect. And the opportunity to not only learn from people that are up on stage, but also the people sitting to your left and your right during these sessions is something that I think is extremely unique and definitely something that you need to be there to experience.
It's so true. When we first started doing events, we called them Engage, and it was Engage Marketing and Engage Talent, because that was the whole goal, was not just like, hey, come sit in a room of a couple thousand people and be a faceless person. It was really like, come and engage with your peers, engage with the speakers, and leave with more than just insight. We definitely want to provide insight, but also connection and communication with people who otherwise you wouldn't meet in person. And we see that every single time. It's amazing.
Absolutely. And I think that this event is formatted in a really unique way. There are general sessions, but there are also opportunities for you to dig deeper into specific areas. So we're going to be having a marketing leaders session, special sessions for our C-suite executives that'll be in attendance, opportunities to learn from the women of influence that have been gathered. And I I hope that everyone is aware of this fact, but Rene Rodriguez is going to be participating as well for a special lunch session, which I am a huge fan of his, and I'm really looking forward to that as well.
So for people who don't know who Rene Rodriguez is, if there are any such people listening to this podcast, what would you say about him?
Award-winning author, extremely motivated, someone that if you're in the mortgage world or even the housing economy world, you need to go Google right now, buy his books. He is an amazing person, someone that is definitely worth the price of admission.
I love that. When we started planning this year's event, we sat down and Brennan Nath, we identified sort of people in the industry, across the industry, real estate, mortgage, lending, everything. And we had a welcome committee, and we had all these meetings with them to say, what is it that you need to know? What would be valuable to you? Because from the beginning, our goal here is not just like, oh, we have another event, but it's like, this is an event you can't miss. And we're going to build it from the ground up with the feedback that we got from that welcome committee. And that has informed every topic and speaker and the kind of fun things we're going to do as well. And you can really see it in the agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the topics that are going to be presented, there is something for everyone. No matter what part of the industry you're coming from, you need to know about things like climate regulations, the way mortgage and real estate work together, playbooks for success, diversity, affordability, new technologies, economic updates, data that's going to power your business forward. I mean, these are topics that aren't limited to just one area. If you are in housing, this is information that will help you improve your business, to come back from the from the conference with concrete ideas and strategies that you can implement from day one and really power your success in the new year.
I think this is one of the things that we really recognize, especially at this time in our industry. Nobody has just like extra cash that they're like, hey, or extra time or whatever. Like their time, their money, their resources are precious. And so if we're asking you to come, we're going to make sure that this is worth worth the time that you're putting in. And I really believe we are. You did mention the economic talks we're going to have. And that's something that we know from our audience, from our traffic, from the engagement we get, that people really want to know what's coming next. What does the housing market look like? And that goes across the whole industry, whether you're in real estate or lending or whatever, like you need to know that. And so we have definitely tailored some of the sessions for that. We have Logan Motoshami, our lead analyst, who's on this podcast a lot. He's going to be giving one of the keynotes. We have Mike Simonson, who is the president of Altos Research, and he's going to be talking to us about inventory. And he has the data that nobody else has. Altos Research is unbelievable in the kind of data that they can have. And so we'll have up to the minute data about what's coming, and especially like what to expect the rest of the fall and into 2024.
Yeah, and I think, outside of just the data and the strategies, one thing that people need now more than ever is to know that, there's a community around them. The market is doing what the market's going to do. And being at an event in a beautiful location like the Hyatt Lost Pines Resort in Austin, with your peers, being able to network, understand what their business is going through, things that they have done that have helped them out. It's something that it's an energy that you can feel the second that you check in and register with us. So I'm really excited about the community aspect of this event. I know that we are going to be having a lot of fun out there as well. So for all of the learning and networking and serious business work, we're also going to be having a good time. There are 2 evening receptions planned. We have a pickleball tournament planned. We have wine tasting. So if you missed out on the chance at our Gathering of Eagles conference to participate in the pickleball tournament, it is coming back. I'm going to be out there. At the GOE conference, we had a best dress category. Me and my teammate got second place. So we're going to try and get first place in this year's event.
You guys looked amazing. And I was really surprised. People loved the pickleball, either if they were playing or watching. It was just such a fun event to really get people gathered around. People were very competitive, and that was really fun. And it was just one of those things that broke the ice. And I mean, people at Gathering of Eagles, it was like 107 or something. And that did not deter people from playing. It will not be 107 in October. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And the funniest thing about the pickleball tournament is that watching the games, you could see in between sets, people were doing business deals in 110-degree heat, sweating on the pickleball court. There was business being done. It was a sight to see. I'm glad that we all survived and can revitalize this pickleball tournament for the HousingWire Annual Conference.
So, one of those affinity groups that we really want people to be able to connect with their peers is our Vanguard forum, where we have really targeted content for them. And our Vanguards, of course, are the people that we have recognized with our Vanguard Award over the years. And we have so many of them coming to this event. I love that. This is almost like the Lifetime Achievement Award that we give out. And it's for people who are leading some of the biggest companies, making innovative things happen. I mean, these are like the rock stars of our industry: real estate, mortgage, appraisal, title, whatever it is. And it's so exciting that so many of them are going to be there. And what do we have for them, Mark?
Yeah, Sarah, you're absolutely right. This is going to be a really unique section of the HousingWire Annual Conference. This is going to be the Vanguard Forum. It's specifically for people in the C-suite to attend and also to present. So we're going to have speakers from Sierra Pacific Mortgage, from Thrive Mortgage, from Princeton Mortgage, from Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate. And these executives who have been honored in our annual awards are going to be talking about what drove their success and giving the people in the room a peek behind the curtain into the strategies in terms of people management, business management, marketing, whatever the case may be, that really power their success. So if you are a C-suite individual and you want to be in a room with equally as intelligent and thoughtful and compassionate people as you, this is the right time to go ahead and sign up, register for the Vanguard Forum, and join us in the special room.
We may have just gotten back from Gathering of Eagles, but we're not done with events for 2023 yet. This October, we're headed right back to Austin, Texas for HousingWire Annual, and we want to see you there. We've got a power-packed agenda with content such as our Women of Influence speakers, peak performer playbooks, CEO playbooks, and more to propel your company forward, as well as a bunch of networking events. Because this event is open to real estate executives, mortgage, title, and everyone in between, you really have the opportunity to network with people from all across the housing ecosystem. If you want to learn more about the event, or if you're already ready to get registered, head over to housingwire.com on the events tab and you can learn all about it. Not to mention, if you're an HW Plus member, you're going to get 50% off your ticket. So get registered for HW Plus and get registered for the event so we can see you out in Austin.
This is amazing. And also, they don't, even though we're a media company, we're not allowed to cover the Vanguard Forum. So this is a place that's really just for them. It's always hard for my news staff. In fact, one time I went in there and sat down and Clayton came over to me. He was like, "What are you doing in here?" And I was like, "Well, I wanted to listen." He goes, "No, you're not allowed to be in here. You have to leave." And I was like, "Really? Are you kidding me?" I was like, "I'm not even taking notes." He's like, "No." So we take it really seriously because we want people to just be able to relax and be around their peers and talk about that. And then we also have specifically for marketing leaders. So we have a marketing leaders section of the agenda, and there's other things going on during these two things. So if you're not a marketing leader, if you're not in the C-suite, there'll be plenty to do and plenty going on. But we did want to segment it out, and I think that marketing leaders right now, we know that a ton of companies have had to cut some of their marketing staff, their marketing spend, and so we've really developed this to be like, here's what you can do now. Here are the impactful things that people are doing.
Oh, you froze on that one.
So I'm
Queuing
just
in on marketing leaders.
Yeah. So I'm just talking about like what people can do now in this environment.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. A number of companies have made the difficult decision to reduce staff in their marketing departments. And I think that what we're going to be really focusing in on in the marketing leader section is how to do more with less, how to advocate for resources, how to develop strategies that are going to allow your firm to stay in front of the market with more limited resources, which is kind of a natural element of working in a cyclical environment like this. So there's going to be a number of really impactful sessions where we talk about the future of marketing and really dig deep on these playbooks that you can take back to your firm, implement, and find immediate success.
Who are some of these leaders? So I'll tell you. So one of the sessions I'm really looking forward to in this section is using data to inform your marketing strategy, which we know, I mean, that's evergreen, but right now, especially, I mean, you have to, decide where you're going to spend your resources. And so knowing, from a data standpoint, what's actually going to be the most effective is really important. So we've got Arjun Dhingra, who is amazing at All Western Mortgage. We have Stephen Cooley, founder and CEO of Art versus Math. We've got Liz Lilly of Fluid and Samantha McKendrick. Oops, hang on. Samantha, yeah, sorry about this. Samantha McKendrick, the head of marketing at Poly. And these are all people that we know use data in a really impactful way. And so we wanted to get them together and let's pick their brains about what they're doing.
Yeah, totally agree. And to stick with that data theme, I'm really excited about the chief marketing officer from CoreLogic. Wei-Ling Zhang is going to be joining us. CoreLogic is a company that is has their hands everywhere, has hands on a lot of data, and really understands the trends that are happening in the marketplace. So I'm really excited to hear their CMO talk specifically about what they're doing and what really sets apart their strategy and has allowed them to find so much success.
I love that. Of course, we have Alec Hansen from Loan Depot. He's someone that I've had on this podcast, and he is just the things that he's doing are really amazing. We have Bryant Covey. We have so many people who have lived this out at lenders, at real estate firms, and I think that this is going to be a rich environment, a target-rich environment if you want to learn about what they're doing.
Would definitely agree. And the final really unique session that we have going is the Women of Influence section. And I know that it could be a misconception amongst our audience that this is women only that are allowed to attend. No, these are female leaders who are at the top of their game, who are going to be presenting to the entire audience. If you are a female, you're an advocate, you just want to learn about business, these female leaders are going to wow you. And specifically, Sarah, I know that you're going to be talking with Sandra Thompson from FHFA. So are you excited about that convo?
I'm really excited. I got to interview her last year at our HousingWire Annual, and it was a highlight, and people really enjoyed hearing from her. It was one of the things that the sessions that they noted that they really liked. And so we're like, let's bring her back. We're so excited to have her come. And we're really going to be focusing. The FHFA has had a very busy year. They have been very active this year. And so our audience wants to know, what their focus is, what should we expect on regulatory focus going forward in the rest of this year and into 2024. And Sandra is just a very, generous speaker. I really appreciate her coming in, and I hope that's going to be a great talk. So we have some other amazing women as well. We have Susie Lindblom from ARC Home. We have Michelle Krzyzkowski from Cardinal Financial. We have Christina Zotzman from Atlantic Bay Mortgage. We just have so many people that we've really, we've got Rebecca Thompson from Coldwell Banker Realty. We've got Michelle Clement, who's the CEO of the Chicago Association of Realtors. We have packed this out to hear from women. And like you said, I mean, this is not a women's event, but it is a chance for us to showcase women leaders and as part of our Women of Influence. So very excited about that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think it's something that as someone who works for HW Media has been an area that I particularly am proud of, the work that the newsroom does and the whole organization does to spotlight the achievements of not only these women, but the many contributors around the country. So it's something that I'm glad that we can continue this legacy at the HousingWire Annual event.
I think one of the things I'm excited about too is we've, in the past, when I was doing events early on, we did a lot of panels. We had like 5-6 people up there. One time we had a super panel, and I think there were 10 people up there. If people were with us in Charlotte, they saw a panel of like 10 people up there. It was wild, and it went on for like 2 hours. So, we've tweaked things a bit since then. I'm not saying it wasn't a great panel, because it was, but we know that there are some different things we want to do. So we do have some panels, but we also have a lot of individual speakers who are doing really impactful, like here's a 10-minute, 15-minute thing on their very specialty. And I'm so thankful for these speakers. These are, busy people leading amazing companies, and they're giving us their time. And then we've also done some pairings of people that we thought would be really interesting. One of those is a fireside chat between Brian Hall, who's the president of financial services at Meritage Homes, and Dan Pena, the executive vice president at Loan Depot. And we're excited about that and how they're going to talk about how they work together. And that's one of the themes here is like how the different areas of the housing industry can work together to really help each other.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think that's really a unique thing about this event. It's not just for mortgage, although we do have 50 different lenders participating. It's not just for real estate. It's not just for title. This is the intersection of commerce and industry and community and content throughout the whole housing economy. So I really think as we're looking at the opportunities and options that we have, which may be more limited this year than in past years to attend an in-person conference, this is one that you have to take a look at. It might not be right for you, but take a look at the agenda. Take a look at some of the speakers. This is going to be really impactful. It's going to help you make decisions. It's going to help you build relationships. And ultimately, that's what we're really trying to help people with is let them know that they're not alone, that there are resources out there, that there is information, there is knowledge to be had, and all you have to do is just access it. And this audience does a very good job of opening up and allowing you to ask questions and be curious and learn from people that are both attending and the people that are presenting on stage.
I love that. I have to shout out to this other panel. It is a panel. There are only 4 people on it, though, not 10. And we just felt like this one, it needed all of these people, and it's strategy and operations tactics from the top. And it's about really creating a roadmap to survive and thrive right now, and really what that looks like. And so we're bringing in Cindy Keith. She's the Chief Strategy Officer at NFM Lending. Sarah Gonzalez, President and Chief Operating Officer at Panorama Mortgage Group. Jennifer Hedgepeth, the EVP and Chief Operating Officer at DHI Mortgage. And Terry Davis, the Founding Partner, Executive Advisor at Ale Advisors. And these 4 panelists are going to really do an amazing job. I've been on one of the planning calls for this, and it's just so exciting to see. Their desire is really to help other people figure it out too, and to really have that synergy on stage and talk about what's worked for them and how you build a roadmap for profitability in this environment. And I think that one's going to be amazing.
Now, Sarah, speaking of synergy, I know that we are going to end the HousingWire Annual Conference with a very special episode of HousingWire Daily. I, for one, am excited to see a live recording of you and Logan Mohtashami, the dynamic duo, really gracing the stage and giving people a peek behind the curtain into what goes into making this amazing podcast. So I have to give you a shout out as well as someone that's going to be gracing the stage. And I think you and Logan are going to be quite entertaining and informative as always.
Oh my gosh, we're so looking forward to this. And we are going to finally have the Let's Talk About the Mortgage Rate Lockdown. He has all this data on his side, but I can tell you, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and be like, I'm on Team Sarah on this because they really see it from my perspective. So we're going to dig in. He's going to bring a bunch of data. Mike Simonson is also going to weigh in. So and he's more on Logan's side. So we're going to have quite the talk. But the fun thing about that is it's going to be live, but we're also going to invite people up from the audience. So this is going to be a really fun way to end things, and also to get your questions answered from Logan, straightforward. And I'm not going to let him off the hook, because every time we always have these topics we need to talk about in the podcast, and then that comes up, he'll throw it in there, and I'm like, no, you're not going to get me off topic. That is going to be our topic for that one, and I can't wait, and I think our audience is pretty excited about it.
Absolutely. Well, I know that I want to make sure that people are aware that this event is October 10th through 12th. We are still accepting registrations. If you're a sponsor and you want to participate, definitely reach out to our sales team as well, or send me a message at mark@hwmedia.com. But this event is going to be phenomenal. It's at the Hyatt Lost Pines in Austin, Texas. It's a wonderful resort. If you've ever heard anyone say they're going to the Texas Hill Country, this is it. It's about 20 minutes outside of Austin. It's on the Colorado River. It's a great resort. The room block is 40% off. So it's a chance to see an amazing hotel for a very reasonable price. So would definitely encourage anyone that's on the fence right now to go to housingwire.com, click the events tab, and go into the HousingWire Annual website. check out the agenda, send me a note, help me convince you to get there. It is something that you are going to be thankful that you did. And if we can play a part in helping provide any information or shaping content that's going to appeal to you, then let us know. We want to be a resource for you, and we definitely want to see you in Austin.
I love it. And, we know that last year, the people who didn't go, they had FOMO. I mean, we heard from so many people like, oh, that looked so great. And it was so great. So don't miss it this year. Come join us. Come talk to Mark. Come talk to me. And so many of the people we're going to have there. Mark, thanks so much for being on the podcast with me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Sarah.